crowd. Yeah, and they turned the volume up a little bit when they started getting a few out the middle. So yeah, like I said, unbelievable atmosphere, great game of cricket, lovely one to be a part of.
Tom, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Tom Curran joining us here on Talk Sport 2. Wow, gentlemen, breathe, relax. Alex Tudor has joined Gareth Batty and myself down here. Well, we heard from Johnny Bairstow, we've heard from Tom Curran. England have got the series level. We'll go to Centurion with it all to be decided still.
After one visitor was diagnosed with coronavirus, 2 Labour MPs who were at the summit have cancelled public engagements. And also this evening, the wife of former England captain Dave Watson's revealed the 73-year-old is suffering from the same brain disease that killed Jeff Hassel. CTE is caused by repeated head trauma, such as heading a football. The news comes after the FA revealed earlier this week it would be focusing its future research on why they're more at risk. Dawn Hassel has told TalkSport they have a duty of care to the players.
By now saying that they're looking into why this is happening is absolutely right. That's exactly what they should be doing. You know, they asked for more evidence and more research when my dad died, and now they've got it. There were no way we were going to allow them not to do anything about it.
The Environment Agency is warning hundreds of homes could flood following the arrival of Storm Dennis this weekend, and police are now investigating after TV cameras appeared to capture the Rangers striker Alfredo Morelos being racially abused on Wednesday night. Kilmarnock have promised to issue anybody found guilty with a lifetime ban.
Talk Sport weather with QuickFit. Get ready for the cold weather with our free winter safety check and drive away happy.
Plenty of rain for southern and southeast England overnight. It will be dry elsewhere. Storm Dennis, though, bringing heavy rain and strong winds across the whole of the UK tomorrow.
Talk Sport Sports Update.
Former Manchester City defender Danny Mills has told TalkSport Pep Guardiola could walk away from the club. This after UEFA's decision to ban them from European competition for the next 2 seasons for a breach of financial fair play regulations.
I think it'll be very, very difficult for Pep to stay on when the whole remit was to come in and win the Champions League. Of course, you know, there is the option, I'm sure, to appeal. But even if it gets cut to 1 season, that's a long time for Pep Guardiola to wait.
City say they are disappointed.
Positive start this by Wolves, and Shota arrives and puts them ahead in the 4th minute. It's a flying start from Wolves, who've savaged Leicester from the off.
Aries everywhere. I mean the fans, not the birds. Possibly the birds, if they are birds who also support Norwich, although that seems unlikely. I'm Alan Partridge, and this is Game Day Cattle on TalkSport. We will preview Norwich for Liverpool in a minute. It's 5:30 tomorrow. It's a TalkSport exclusive game.
Here's Chowdhury, nicely uses his body to shield it away from Neto, plays it into the centre circle of Maddison, on from him to Tielemans. Tielemans going to have a go from 25 yards too, and batted away by Rui Patricio. We've got good distance on it. Vardy trying to pick up the scraps, but is tackled by Johnny. But Perez has got it back inside the penalty area, looking to get it back for a teammate. Too many gold shirts in the way. Not the best clearance, but Neto and Bolly between them able to get it to safety. And now Wolves can look to break. Neto's got it right wing near his own half. Leicester got bodies back now, and the momentum has been lost. Bolly plays an aimless ball into the channel, but that may be an example of what Nuno's tactics are tonight. Use the pace to hit on the counter.
Absolutely, but a couple of times now they've been the hopeless balls or aimless balls, just hit over the top to nobody in particular, and Leicester gathered it up. But that was fantastic football for them. Started on this right hand side, eventually worked it into Maddison, played a little ball into Tielemans in the pocket just outside the box, and there's Tielemans, unrifles, unleashes a shot, takes a little deflection, the goalkeeper just parries it.
Carlo Pereira on the attack again near the corner flag right hand side. Touchdown to play by Saiz before he could get his delivery in. Say you don't see him back defending very often. He's actually made and won more tackles than any other defender in the Premier League this season, the Portuguese right back for Leicester. Ball played over to the right wing as Wolves attack. Neto does well to keep it in. Now he's chased his own pass and he's up to the edge of the penalty area, up against Soyuncu, puts a foot in. Really important touch as well though. Neto's picks up the loose ball, played through for a shot from Jota, which is kicked away by Schmeichel, and behind for the first corner of the game.
Well, super run on this right hand side by Neto, showed Ben Chilwell a clean pair of heels, and I think this might have been Harvey Barnes recovering. Ducks inside Soyuncu, gets a terrific little foot in just to poke the ball away, but he still gathers it, Neto. Then a lovely little reverse ball. I think it's aimed for Jimenez, but it's actually Diego Jota. Continued his run, comes to him, got him the first time finish with his left foot low, but good stop from Schmeichel with his foot.
It's going to be Neto to take the corner from the left hand side. Puffs out his cheeks, puts his hands on his hips. Left footed out swinging delivery to the penalty spot. Good header from Bolly, but difficult to get enough power to really worry Schmeichel, and he was able to catch it after it bounced up into his grasp.
Yeah, again, it's those set pieces. They've got a mix of how they mark Leicester, part zonal, part man for man.
Here comes Tielemans at the other end inside the penalty area. Neves there with him, puts his arm on the shoulder, and the ball goes behind, and the referee says that's a goal kick. Neves used just the right amount of force to put the Belgian off there.
Well, Tielemans, he was almost going to ground it. Again, fantastic football. Lovely little layup into Tielemans, and he just drives straight at the heart of the Wolves' defence. Neves, you've got Cody coming over. I mean, they think that, well, certainly Tielemans thinks it should have been a corner, but they've been full of running. They look very energised, don't they, Leicester? It's interesting because they had the winter break, so to speak, and Brendan Rodgers gave them a week off to do what they want. He went skiing, in fact. But Wolves went on a sort of warm weather training camp as a team, so it certainly looks like Leicester are the main beneficiaries of that break so far.
It's good trolling from the Leicester manager to his players, isn't it? You lot can't go skiing, it's in your contract.
That's right.
But I'm off. That generally, I think, and we were speaking off air about it, is the better way to approach the winter break, isn't it? Use it as a break. Yeah. Let's not go on a training camp. Let's get away from each other.
Well, that's what I feel. I certainly would have rather had a bit of time, a bit of R&R, you know, with myself or with the family, certainly.
The Wolves have got a throw in here, level with the edge of the Leicester penalty area, right hand side. Toss down into the right channel, where Dendonku is giving chase to it. Chilwell's got it though, and he gets it clear for another throw in from the same position. Wolves are starting to feel their way into the match in the last few minutes. Into Jimenez this time. Chilwell with a good tackle on him, trying to get it clear. Plays it short to Maddison. Dendonku in his way. Maddison works it on for Barnes, still inside his own half of the field. 12.5 gone, 0-0 at Molineux. Here's Ricardo Pereira on the ball now, feeding it into the right channel, asking Jose Perez to chase, but Johnny was always favoured to get there first, and he nicely took it away from his fellow Spaniard. Infield to Ruben Neves, then on across for Willy Bolly. Bolly working it up to halfway, and Neto, who's been heavily involved in these opening exchanges, back heel from him, trying to link up with Diego Jota, or with Doherty I should say, didn't quite come off. Now Leicester have got possession back with Barnes. Now here's James Maddison. player in this Leicester team who doesn't want to have the ball at their feet, is there? Of course, as soon as I say that, Ricardo Pereira miscontrols it, goes out for a touch.
Commentator's curse, I think they call that. But yeah, it's a really smart start here from the away team. You can just see Espirito Santo talking to his coaching staff here, just wondering how they affect this. They've been absolutely dominated so far as the home team. Maybe they've had the best chance though so far, certainly from Jota.
Here comes Raul Jimenez down the left wing, playing it down the line for Diogo Jota, who gives Evans a little nudge in the back, and the ball goes out to play, and Evans says, referee, that should be a free kick.
Diogo Jota gives Evans a little nudge in the back.
Jota just gave Evans a slight little push as he went into the corner flag. Could clear it out of play, so throw right in the corner here, Wolves.
Sends it up towards the edge of the penalty area. Donker's now got it 30 yards out. He thought about having a shot, turned inside instead. Now Ruben Neves moving it across out wide left for Johnny. He'd stay forward, and he's got away from Perez and tries to cut in field to get into the penalty area, but Perez is able to take it from him, and now Tielemans will look to bring it clear for Leicester. He is clipped. It's a free kick. You're listening to TalkSport Live. So 0-0 here with a third of the first half gone, 15 minutes played. The goalkeeper has had anything particularly difficult to do so far as Maddison flicks a ball around the corner left-hand side, but it's going to run through to Rui Patricio, the Wolves keeper, who wears number 11 on his back. They've left the number 1 shirt for the time being. Former Wolves keeper Carl Akimi, who was diagnosed with and then overcame leukemia, but it meant he had to retire from football. Keeping the number 1 shirt for him in his honour. Here is Johnny, as he's known, the Spanish left back. Jonathan Castro Otto is his full name, but Johnny is what he goes by. He's helped his team win a free kick just inside their own half of the field. Wolves only 1 win in their last 8 in all competitions. That was Southampton in January, when they came from 2-0 down at half time to win 3-2. Only 1 win in the last 6 in the Premier League, and actually they've lost 3 of those, which was as many as they did in their first 19 Premier League games this season. Free kick for Wolves here is just inside their own half of the field. Connor Cody again is going to take it. We'll see if he hits it long to the edge of the box, where again Bolly and Chilwell have been matched up against one another, and Chilwell doesn't look too pleased about that. Cody hits it to the point of the penalty area toward Bolly, so Inchu again goes toward him rather than Chilwell and wins the header. Cleared back up to halfway, where Saiss lumps it forward up to the edge of the Leicester penalty box, and it spoons off Evans' boot. It's going to come out left side here for Diogo Jota, up against Ricardo Pereira. Went to get across, and good defending from Pereira behind for a corner.
Well, you could just see what Leicester were trying to do there, just block off Willy Bolly on that long diagonal free kick. They put Chowdhury in front of him, and then Soyuncu managed to clear it, but came back into their box. Johnny Evans not the best clearance, almost miscued it, ended up wide, but got Pereira there, just made a nice little block on Jota. But it's another set piece, and this is where they look very dangerous, Wolves.
Second corner of the night again. Pedro Neto is going to take an out swinger from the near side towards the left as Wolves attack. 2 arms in the air from him. Clips it over to the edge of the box, where it is met by the head of Leander Dendoncker, and it goes a foot or so wide of Schmeichel's post. No save required there. He managed to peel away into some space nicely, but it has to be a good, very good header to score from 17 yards from goal.
Yeah, it does, but if you look at the marking system from Leicester, they've got their zonal. They've got their whole back 4 in a zone, in a line, on a 6-yard box. So that means the likes of Johnny Evans, Soyuncu, their best headers of the ball, are stood on the 6-yard line. So what Wolves have done, have drilled it about 10 yards away from them, so they can't come and get it. But what that means is Hamza Chowdhury is picking up the likes of Willy Bolly or Dendoncker. So, there's a complete mismatch. If they can get that header and that delivery right, that's the benefit of, if you're the team that's attacking a zonal defence.
Leicester now on the attack left-hand side with Barnes. Comes into the point of the penalty area, hits a cross-come shot which goes straight into Willy Bolly and goes out to play for a Leicester throw in their own half of the field. Now, Leicester not in great shakes themselves in terms of Premier League form. 3 wins in their last 9. They'd won 8 in a row prior to that, and they've dropped 8 points from winning positions in their last 4 Premier League games. And most recently against Chelsea when they were 1-0 down, then 2-1 up, and then it finished 2-2. Here Ricardo Pereira has the ball right side as he comes up toward halfway, just in front of Nuno Espirito Santo, the Wolves boss, who's been talking in the build-up to this game about the fact that his contract expires next year and he's yet to be offered a new one. Here left side, Leicester with Chilwell on the attack again. Chilwell giving it to Barnes. Barnes comes back to Maddison. Not seen too much of James Maddison yet in this game, albeit it's not quite 20 minutes old yet. Evans pushes it out right side for Ricardo Pereira. He plays it back in field for Evans again. Inside the centre circle, short to Soyuncu. Here's Chowdhury now. Chowdhury rolling it out right side for Pereira. Pereira touched on for Tielemans, tried to work it on for Perez. Ball goes out to play, everybody appealing. And giving us a Wolves throw though. Brendan Rodgers gets his notepad out and makes a scribble. Looks like quite a fancy pen he's got there, to be fair. Johnny takes the throw, touches it to Jimenez. Johnny being boxed in by Tielemans, has to go backwards, and then the clearance only goes as far as Evans. Evans plays the ball up towards Barnes. He can't get there. Here's Chilwell now, left-hand side against Doherty. Chilwell coming infield and loses control straight to Dendoncker. We were talking in the build-up, David, about Jamie Vardy, and you said how he averages 20 touches a game. I'm not sure he's had one in the first 20 minutes here.
No, that's right, and that's the way Leicester play, and unfortunately it does mean you are starved of possession, often ploughing that lone role up front as he is so far, barely been on the ball. Had an awful lot of play in front of them, haven't they, Wolves, but not a lot in behind them.
Here's Bolly pushing it out right side as Wolves look to build an attack. Just past the 20-minute mark in the game. Chowdhury slides in, puts it out for a throw. He's having to do that Ndidi role, isn't he? Hamza Chowdhury, maybe, well, not maybe, not as accomplished as Ndidi is in that role.
No, but he's learning it, and he's learning it quickly. He's a youngster who spent an awful lot of time in their under-23 squad, and a lot of clubs would have looked at him and fancied taking him, but they kept him at Leicester, didn't really go out on loan, and now he's got his chance. I really like him. I think he does that job as a loan holder really well.
Throw-in for Wolves here, almost level with the edge of the Leicester box over on the far side, the right. Toss toward Dendoncker, couldn't bring it under control though. Chilwell will get it clear for Leicester up toward Vardy, who nearly got a touch there, but Bolly took it from him. Now here's Tielemans, Neves I should say, the other number 8, pushed out left side for Johnny. Back in field from him. Wolves just keeping the ball amongst themselves for the moment. Saïs has it in his control and goes all the way back to Conor Cody just outside the penalty area. Clips the ball up into midfield.
Lovely ball, wasn't it?
Something they've been using a lot from set pieces, but he's got a decent passing range, Cody. It's come through for Jimenez, then played forward looking for Jota, but it's going to go all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel.
Well, it's a terrific ball up to the front, wasn't it? Up onto the chest. I can't recall who played it, but it was a wonderful little delivery.
It's Cody, the Wolves captain, who's the middle of that back three that they're employing and have done for basically all the time they've been in the Premier League since their most recent promotion. Halfway point of the first half, Ricardo Pereira right side. Fouled surely by Diogo Jota, who has the temerity to complain. He just came across and pushed him to the ground essentially, and Mike Deal and his team gave the free kick.
Yeah, again, is where he does all his best work. Ricardo Pereira bombing on into the opposition half. He takes it in his stride, looking to drive forward, commit players, and that's what he does. Just invites the foul from Diogo Jota, who just bundles him over. And it's certainly a free kick. And this is where you've got the delivery of Maddison, that quality on the ball, putting that into an area between the goalkeeper, I guess, and where those players are. They're at 2 yards inside the penalty box. It's a nice little space to whip that ball into.
Soyuncu's come forward from the back for this. Maddison to take it about 15 yards in from the right touchline. Swings it deep toward the back post, and Soyuncu got his head to it, but straight into the gloves of Rui Patricio.
Oh, what a chance. Absolutely brilliant ball in here from James Maddison, right to the back post. Ben Chilwell gets up, goes over his head. There's Soyuncu with a free header, but he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Best chance of the game.
He scored once this season. Soyuncu maybe should have had a second there. And here's Evans in the right back position at the moment, giving it to Pereira, who can come up to halfway once more. Got Perez out to his right. Vardy offside for the moment, ahead of them.
Well, that's because he wanted the ball earlier. That's the danger with Pereira carrying the ball. If you're the likes of Jamie Vardy, you're going to make one run and you want it to be released. Once you start making that run, if it doesn't come, you're going to be offside. Then he's not involved in the game. That's his big problem. He needs the likes of Pereira. Look, he's not going to release it now because now the Wolves' defence is deep. It's on its edge of its own box and there's no real space for Vardy to run in behind. So he does need it a little bit earlier.
So Chowdhury then exchanging passes. Here's Johnny Evans. Touch on for Tielemans.
Look how close those two central defenders are. Johnny Evans, Soyuncu. There's only about 10 yards in between them, which is quite unusual for two centre halves. Normally when the fullbacks bomb up high, they're quite wide, but they are operating very close together.
Here is Evans again across for Tielemans. And turned around to Pereira. Now here's Tielemans again, but he's been dispossessed by Diogo Jota, playing it up to Jimenez. Jimenez turns. He's halfway inside Leicester's half, making his way to the edge of the penalty area now. Goes down under contact from Tielemans. Not much of it, but enough for Mike Dean to award a free kick.
Yeah, they just were in possession there, Leicester, which you can't do. Tielemans, when you've got Diogo Jota around, he works ever so hard, wins the ball back, then they're on the attack into Jimenez. He could have maybe released it. He had a runner going on the inside. It might have been Doherty, I think it was, or Jota on the diagonal, just carries it. Tielemans puts his arms around him and just brings him down. But it's a good 30 yards out. I mean, well, maybe a bit closer, 25, something like that. Probably just within shooting range.
Very central. Ruben Neves is the player who's over the ball. He's got 14 goals for Wolves. 11 of them have come from outside the box. The other 3 were penalties. So
he's got a strike on him, hasn't he? Terrific strike.
Well, not only is he good from outside the box, he's also a dead ball specialist. So really, this free kick ought to be just what he wants. He's very, very central though. He's got a 4-man wall to negotiate. Neves capable of the spectacular. 3 goals for him this season. Can he make it 4 here with 26 minutes on the clock and the score at 0-0? Shortish run up, here he comes. Neves straight into the wall. Comes off Chowdhury's backside and spins away, and Chilwell will be able to stop it going out for a throw, but then he completely missed the ball and gave it to Dendoncker, and Dendoncker crosses into the box looking for Jota, but Evans managed to get it away, and Chilwell for now breathes a sigh of relief. Very, very casual that from the Leicester left back.
Yeah, as we said before the game, I mean, to me, he's not having the best of seasons, Ben Chilwell. I thought he had a stellar one last season, and this season he's making a few casual errors which you wouldn't normally associate with him. I think Ricardo Pereira has been the standout fullback for the Foxes, that's for sure.
We'll say, well, maybe it's transfer speculation that's turned his head, but that doesn't make you make decisions like that on the pitch, surely, does it?
No, I've seen his own teammates just berate him a few times. Seen Johnny Evans get on at him because he doesn't close the ball down quickly enough, or hasn't got out to the winger. Look, he's still a top player, but he's just maybe dipped slightly below his usual standards.
Approaching half an hour gone in the West Midlands. This game's not quite been of the standards that we were hoping for so far. There's Tielemans on the ball for Leicester though, and then Perez, has he overrun it? Yeah, he's lost possession to Dendoncker. Dendoncker looking back for Neves, but only gave it straight to Maddison. Here's Barnes now, over halfway left hand side. He's got 2 Wolves players in attendance and not much in the way of support. Manages to put it through the legs of Dendoncker, who had a little tug at his shirt, and it's another free kick, this time for Leicester.
Well, he done really well here, Harvey Barnes. He scored in 3 successive games. He's a player on fire, but they double up on him. They got Doherty, they got Bolly, they got Dendoncker. 3 of them crowding him out. I think that's a sign of respect. They know he's a real dangerous man, but as Dendoncker closes him down, his legs are open, he just passes it through them. A little nutmegs, but he's pulled back.
Free kick then from a couple of yards in from the touchline over on the far side. It's probably 30 yards from goal. Chilwell and Maddison over the ball. It's Chilwell who sends it in left footed. Really good delivery from Evans. Didn't get anything right. The right contact though. So Soyuncu keeps it alive. Perez back across goal, but straight through to Rui Patricio. Well, that's both Leicester centre halves who've had headed opportunities and good ones.
Absolutely. Don't defend this well, Chilwell. They're unexpected. I'm not too sure they knew who was going to play that ball in. In the end, it's Chilwell with the outswinger. Johnny Evans gets a faintest of touches on it, glances it away, but defended a couple of balls very well here so far, Wolves.
Chilwell's delivery from set pieces, something which hasn't escaped him over these last few weeks. Well, Leicester have enjoyed Friday night fixtures this season. Of course, they won 9-0 away to Southampton earlier in the season. Incredible result for them, which started that 8-match winning run, which has gone by the wayside since, but they're still comfortably tucked in the top 4. As Wolves attack now with Doherty. He's going to cross into the penalty area to Raul Jimenez, who gets his head on it but can't keep it down. Foot or so over the crossbar. Closest we've seen from the Mexicans so far, though. Good delivery in.
Oh, it's brilliant play. I think it's Doherty out wide on the right. Puts a lovely little ball to the back post. There's Johnny Castro. I think he just jumps above Ricardo Pereira. Can't quite keep the header down, but there's one wing back crossing to the other.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Said it was the best we'd seen from Jimenez. It wasn't actually from Jimenez, it was Johnny, and maybe that's why it didn't get so close to the target. Not a regular goal scorer, the left-sided defender. Here's Soyuncu now for Leicester, bringing it up to halfway, inside left position. Short ball from him to Chowdhury, who works it out to the left side. Back in field then for Johnny Evans. Former West Brom, Man United, Sunderland man Evans, having a real renaissance at Leicester. Tielemans now trying to get on the ball. It was him squealing that you heard near the effects microphone. Goes down, wins a free kick off Diogo Jota.
There's a couple of times now Diogo Jota's given a few free kicks away. He's a little bit late. Him and Tielemans having a right good battle.
There's Maddison. Tielemans again now, right side. Half an hour played at Molineux. 0-0 just as it was on opening day at full time between these two teams. All the fixtures in this round are the reverse of the opening weekend games. Here's Perez. Perez looking to flick it forward, but Saiss got the block. It's come out for Chowdhury on halfway. Short pass into Maddison, who gives it straight back to Chowdhury. And then Soyuncu gets on the ball, puts his foot on it, rolls it across to Evans, just past the halfway line. Coming right side now for Youri Tielemans. Tielemans back in field to Evans again. Leicester plenty of possession, but not much penetration to go with it.
No, and you can see what Wolves are trying to do. Their tactics just to sit off and say, go on then Leicester, can you break us down, and we'll try and press you, win it back, and then hit you on the counter.
They have won it back here, Wolves, and now they will look to break forward with Ruben Neves still inside his own half. Gave a short pass to Pedro Neto. Neto trying to shake off Maddison, gives it back to Neves inside the centre circle. Left side then for Johnny. Johnny trying to get away from Tielemans and Perez. Goes down, no free kick this time. And Leicester might be able to break now. Here's Jose Perez trying to work it into Vardy, who is cutting a very frustrated figure as he doesn't get the ball again.
Absolutely, and that's the second time now Jose Perez has tried to find Vardy and he can't. Barely been in the game, Vardy.
Trying to put some pressure on Saiss as he had the ball, but he gave it back to Rui Patricio. He clears it out left side to Johnny. Johnny coming infield for Jimenez. He shows good strength to hold off Chowdhury and then Tielemans. He's in his own half of the field though. That's not where he wants to be, and he's played it straight at Chowdhury. And now Leicester can counter, and here's Vardy going back to Tielemans. Well, Vardy managed to get a touch. He gave it straight back to Wolves and Neves. And here's Doherty right side as Wolves attack. He doesn't have anybody in the middle at the moment in a gold shirt, so he gave it up instead. Now Jimenez is making a late break into the box. Ball comes in toward him, but too much on it, goes behind for a goal kick. Still 0-0.
Well, the problem Wolves have is because they're so deep, when they do turn the ball over, invariably they might get it out wide to one wing back. When they look in the box, there's no one really in there. It's maybe the other wing back that might be making it, or a late run from someone like Jimenez, but just not getting enough bodies into the box to even look like a threat of scoring.
Here's Chowdhury across to Ricardo Pereira. Well, I was coming here thinking we'd get a repeat of last season's 4-3. I'm starting to think that might be an inaccurate prediction. 70% of the ball Leicester have had in the opening half hour here. The away side, incredible. We'd like a couple of shots at goal to go with the possession stats though. Ball comes in toward Vardy inside the penalty area. Cleared away as far as Bolly, and then he gets it up, but only to Chowdhury. So Leicester can come again with Harvey Barnes up against Dendoncker here. Barnes into Tielemans. Now here's Maddison inside left position. Maddison gives it short to Tielemans. He comes left side from Barnes. It's very patient from Leicester. Barnes now level with the edge of the box. On from Maddison, trying to roll Neves. He wasn't having it. Cleared away then as far as Tielemans. Now it's that left side with Harvey Barnes again. Can he get across in here? Looks to work into Vardy. Too high for him. Headed away by Saiss, and Wolves should be able to get this to safety. Chowdhury, though, looking to win it back off Pedro Neto's done really well, and now Vardy is on the ball inside the penalty area. Bolly in his way, looks to cut it across to Maddison. Bolly got a block on there, and eventually it goes out of play and behind, but for a goal kick.
Well, really good play here from Willy Bolly, just to read the ball in from Jamie Vardy, but superb play again from Chowdhury. Just wins the ball back, that's what he does best. In the Wolves half, feeds it to Jamie Vardy, tries to square it a box to Maddison, but Bolly gets a block in, and then I think it might have been Neto just clearing his lines. It comes off Maddison and goes out for a goal kick.
Even that little bit of involvement will encourage Vardy a little bit, when just to have the feel of the ball at your feet.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's been starved. I mean, by contrast, you say Wolves have had 30% of the ball, but Jimenez has probably had 3 or 4 times as many touches.
Yeah, I guess even if you're not getting shot after shot off as a striker, you just want to feel that you're involved in the game in some way.
Yeah. Oh look, I've been in games like that where you might not touch the ball for a long period and you think, oh geez, I might as well not even be here, and then suddenly you might get a chance or touching the ball and banks in the back of the net, and that's how it goes as a striker, and then you're happy again.
Ball's out of play here for a throw into Wolves, level with the edge of the Leicester box over on the far side, the right. Chucked down the line to Pedro Neto, comes off Maddison, and he manages to get it out for another throw. Toss to Jimenez, short this time. Jimenez ball back to Doherty, who back heels it off Chilwell. It's out for yet another throw. It's more for Wolves.
Well, puff of the cheeks there from Nuno Espirito Santo. I think he's probably thinking the same as we're saying.
Now then, yellow cards coming out here. High boot on Matt Doherty, which has left him hurt, from James Maddison. That wasn't too clever.
Well, he's got his eyes on the ball, Maddison, and then as Doherty goes in low to try and clear it with his head, Maddison just raises his boot and catches him. Probably was dangerous. Justified yellow.
Maddison will have to tread carefully for the rest of the game. And he's drawn blood from Doherty. He is going to have to get patched up before the game can continue. Just got the chance to see it again. Just caught him maybe just above the eyebrow, and that's a painful one for the Irishman. He'll be okay to continue, but he might need a bit of treatment for the next few minutes. Actually, he's on his side now in what we would almost call the recovery position, which is slightly worrying. He's got 2 members of Wolves' medical team working on him just to stem the flow of blood, I would guess. His concussion a big thing now. He's obviously opened up a big cut. It's right on the top of his head, actually. We're just seeing it close up now. It's not pleasant. He might have a couple of stitches at half time.
Yep, that looks like it. They might even have to take him off, I don't know here.
Well, he's getting some treatment. We are going to have a fair bit of stoppage time at the end of the first half because of this. It's 0-0 between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Leicester City. You're listening to TalkSport Live. Adama Traore is amongst those who've been sent out to warm up by Wolves. Interesting that he was named on the bench, David. Dislocated shoulder against Manchester United. I'm no doctor, but that's the kind of thing you've either recovered from or you haven't, isn't it?
Well, yes, I mean, he seems like a quick healer, which is good, and he spoke about Nuno that they've built up the muscles in and around it, but geez, they can't build his muscles up that much more, can they? He is absolutely ripped. Very strong, powerful boy. I didn't actually realise he came through Barcelona's academy. That was news to me, but he's a really important player for them, and great that if he is, well, he must be fit, but that he is back fit so quick.
Yeah, he's got to be the only player who has been educated in part at La Masia and in part by Tony Pulis. It should make him a rounded player, if nothing else, I would guess. He's warming up anyway because Doherty is still getting treatment, and in fact the physio who's attending to him has got blood on the gloves that he's wearing because it really is pouring from poor Matt Doherty. Concussion in sport, a big issue at the moment, of course, so every precaution got to be taken before he's given the okay to carry on playing.
Yeah, I mean, he looks okay. I think it's just obviously the blood. You know, maybe it's the boots that Maddison's wearing. Sometimes those sort of moulds that are blade-like can do a bit more damage than if they were just studs, and I doubt Maddison's a type to wear studs. I got a feeling that might be a blade-type boot injury where kind of slice through your head a little bit bit easier than normal, but he's got a lot of Vaseline on there by the looks of it, just trying to stem it as well.
No blood on his shirt by the looks of things, so he won't have to get changed. He's gone off the pitch now, and the free kick will be taken without him as an active part, but it's in a good position for Wolves this. Just off the touchline right side, about 20-22 yards from goal. Players lined up on the edge of the penalty area, including Jimenez, Bolly, Dendoncker. Saiss is in there too. Needs a quality delivery as we approach half-time with the game goalless. And it comes whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Johnny Evans though. And all the way back is Neves, who works it to Cody, and now Doherty can come back and join us. Immediately sent out to his way, didn't fancy heading that, chested it off. And Wolves just showing a bit of forward momentum, but then Pedro Neto concedes a foul and Leicester get to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, his first real involvement, Doherty, since he's been back on the pitch. As a long lofted ball, you think, oh, is he going to head that? He takes it down on his chest and they keep it alive, but Neto here tries to get the ball around Maddison. There's no way he's going to recover that. Maddison just blocks him off and just pulls him back stupidly there, Neto. He's had a quiet game, Neto. I have seen him and he's been absolutely brilliant on occasions. He's got a couple of great goals, hasn't he?
Yeah, scored against Watford and Southampton last month. His first Premier League goals came in from Lazio in the summer. Well, poor clearance there from Schmeichel has given the ball straight to Neto. He's going to have a go for goal here, and he slashed at it and it spanned so far wide that it almost went out for a throw-in.
Oh, it's really poor play here from Schmeichel, playing out, gives the ball to Neto, but he showed no composure, and Jimenez, he could have laid the ball off to, decided to take the shot on the volley. The ball was bouncing, couldn't control it, and he skewed it horribly wide. What an opportunity that was.
Wolves looking to build some momentum as half-time approaches. 5 minutes, 4.5 now, plus stoppages to go, and there'll be a couple of minutes of added time after that cut to the head of Doherty a few moments ago. Bolly's got the ball. Game's being played at walking pace at the moment though. That's with Saiss, left-hand side, up to halfway from him to Diogo Jota. Now Johnny tries to get a touch, but is quickly dispossessed by Ricardo Pereira. Tielemans then on for Vardy right side, goes down under Saiss's challenge and gets a free kick. It's been a very stop-start bitty first half.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, a lot of niggly fouls. I think both sides are worried about, obviously, on the counter-attack, so they're electing to make some what you call tactical fouls. And a few misplaced passes. That one from Sionchu, a little diagonal ball from left side centre half out to his fullback. But here's Schmeichel playing out under not much pressure. I mean, he's trying to pick out Hamza Chowdhury in the middle of the park, but it's a woeful pass to him. Neto intercepts, then he's on the attack. He's got Jimenez to maybe lay the ball off to in the box instead. Alexa take the opportunity on. The ball isn't set, it's not on the ground, it's still bobbling, and he skies it over the bar. Real poor decision making.
Wickham Wolves again though with Johnny, left hand side near the point of the penalty area. It's a great ball in from Johnny right onto the head of Raul Jimenez. The sort of chance that he would normally gobble up, and he couldn't even work Schmeichel. It was a good 5 or 6 yards wide of the goal.
Well, it's a cracking cross here from Johnny out on this left-hand side. He just picks out Jimenez, who just drifts off Johnny Evans about 7 yards out. As he heads it, he's almost on the 6-yard line. Tries to direct it back across goal. He raises his arm as if to say, I lost it in the floodlights. That's what he's saying there. But gets it horribly wrong, and he's about 10 yards off target. That's the sort of opportunity that he would gobble up.
Is that an excuse that you've used before?
Oh yes, the lights. Yeah, even in the daytime.
Yeah. Somebody says, sorry David, it's 3 o'clock in April. 0-0 here, half time getting ever closer. Ruben Neves moves it out right side. On come Wolves again. They're finishing the half as the stronger of the two teams. Doherty on the charge here, looking to move it right side for Neto. Again, final pass, not very good, but Neto's managed to win a corner. Third of the first half, they've all been for Wolves.
Yeah, he did enough there, Neto, just to keep that in play, because Doherty could have maybe delivered that ball into the box earlier. Yeah, Diogo Jota belting down the left-hand side, but instead tried to roll it to Neto, put too much on it, nearly went out of play, but he's won a corner, Neto.
This one's going to be taken from the other side to the previous two, the far side, the right. Saiss and Bolly both in there trying to sniff out a goal. Then Dendonker's a big tall player as well. Worked in short to Jota, and then whipped back over deep toward the far post and headed back across goal, and Bolly's going to turn it in for 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leicester switched off at the set piece there, nicely worked by Wolves, sent from one side to the other, and Bolly from inside the 6-yard box able to nod in his second goal of the season. and make it Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Leicester City 0.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but where did I say the goal might come from? A set piece. That man, Willy Bolly, absolutely brilliant. They take it short, Wolves work it into Diego Jota, sets it back, great ball to the back post. Matt Doherty gets up highest, just heads it back across along the 6-yard line. It's over Johnny Evans. There's Willy Bolly. Complete mismatch, him up against Yuri Tielemans. Lively little glancing header over into the far corner. Great downward header, superb. 1-0.
There is a VAR check going on. You might have heard the stadium announcer say as much. Can't see anything wrong with it on the replays that we've been afforded so far.
Well, I didn't see too much in that. Thought they worked the routine really well, just trying to drag those zones out and create a couple of mismatches. Possible offside? Well, it might have been Johnny, I don't know, maybe Matt Doherty, but would be tight.
We're getting the VAR replay now as the ball came in. Well, I mean, this is ridiculous even by the standards of VAR in the Premier League this season. They are looking at, I think, Diogo Jota potentially being offside as the ball was touched back to him. It's so close between me and Chilwell.
Goodness me, that will be given offside, I reckon. That is a travesty.
But there's absolutely no advantage being gained there, is there, by the length of one of Diogo Jota's toenails being further advanced than Ben Chilwell. Mike Dean is waiting for the decision. He makes the TV signal and he says no goal.
Yep. Amazing.
It's so difficult, isn't it? Because obviously we want the right decisions to be made, but that was so marginal, and we're looking at it again. You just feel like there's no need for VAR to even get involved in that.
Look, it's millimetres. It is absolutely millimetres when Diego Jota comes short, lays that ball back. What can you say? That was a really well worked goal as well.
Well, Willy Bolly's joy and Wolverhampton Wanderers' joy cut short. Well, we are now into first half stoppage time, but no idea how much of that there's going to be after all of that. We didn't get the fourth official holding the ball up because this has all happened whilst the goal has been disallowed. Ruben Neves is protesting about it to Mike Dean, and he's taken his protest too far because he's got a yellow card. Let's hope that VAR's not going to be the talking point here. Wolves trying again with Diogo Jota cutting in field, getting away from Chowdhury, playing a ball deep, too deep for Doherty to get on the end of. 3 minutes of added time. The signal will probably go over that. Doherty is bleeding again because he reopened the cut, heading it back across goal for Bolly to head it in.
Yeah, and I think he's been cleaned down as well, I imagine, from that goal celebration or non-goal celebration. He would have been wiped down, but he's still bleeding again. But he hasn't got too long to go till half time. He'll probably get a stitch or two.
Supporters chanting it's not football anymore, which has been a common refrain around Premier League stadia this season. Foul then by Johnny, and Wolves now thinking that the whole world is against him. That was definitely a free kick though. Mike Dean to wait. I think it was about 90 seconds, 2 minutes, something like that, before the decision was made.
Oh, it's so. I guess the decision. It's just how they reached that decision. Talking millimetres and goodness me.
Well, it is still 0-0. Wolves have been the better team for maybe 10 or 15 minutes now, though.
That's not clear and obvious, is it? No. And this. I've had this deliberation with many co-commentators. One quite vociferously that it doesn't matter. Millimetres is millimetres. But to me, I thought VAR was going to be brought in for clear and obvious. I think that's how it should be.
Here's Ricardo Pereira. It's totally turned the atmosphere in this stadium. Pereira sending a good cross in. Bolly gets his head to it at the other end of the pitch this time. Back in from Pereira. Trying to win it back again with Roman Saiz. There's a good grapple going on between those two, and eventually the referee, on the advice of his assistant Darren Kang, gives a free kick to Wolves in their left back position.
Well, nice little battle down that side. Saiz up against Pereira. That's the end of the half.
Yeah, it is half-time, the big talking point coming right at the end of the opening 45 minutes when Willy Bolly's goal was ruled out by VAR for a marginal offside against Diogo Jota. Conor Cody in the referee's ear as the teams leave the pitch. It's something that's going to be debated all weekend long, unfortunately. But at half-time here at Molineux, the score is Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Leicester City 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
TalkSport. Don't be like Alan Brazil. Never miss a day's output with the new updated TalkSport app. Is that right, Alan?
I'm absolutely knackered.
Download the app at TalkSport.com. This is what real sport sounds like.
This Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport 2.
Hits it into the net.
Your go-to destination for a full-service Premier League experience.
One day, so much football.
He shoots, he scores.
This Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport 2.
It is game on.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, I'm Matt Target from Aston Villa.
Hi, I'm Bournemouth centre-back Chris Mepham.
Hi, I'm Jan Vertongen. Listen to Game Day on TalkSport.
Game Day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
TalkSport. Get with the net, Grandad. Make space on your mobile for the TalkSport phone app. The channel-hopping, station-swapping gizmo that's taking the UK by storm. It's ear trumpet compatible. Download the TalkSport app now at TalkSport.com.
Friday night football in the Premier League from Molineux this evening. Goalless between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Leicester City at the break. One big talking point in that opening 45 minutes. Let's look back now on the best of the first half. So Neto's picks up the loose ball, played through for a shot from Jota, which is kicked away by Schmeichel and behind for the first corner of the game. Chowdhury nicely uses his body to shield it away from Neto, plays it into the centre circle of Maddison, on from him to Tielemans. Tielemans going to have a go from 25 yards too, and batted away by Rui Patricio. Towards attack now with Doherty, he's going to cross into the penalty area to Raul Jimenez, who gets his head on it but can't keep it down. Foot also over the crossbar, closest we've seen from the Mexican so far though. Good delivery in.
Oh, it's brilliant play. I think it's Doherty out wide on the right. It's a lovely little ball to the back post. There's Johnny Castro. I think he just jumps above Ricardo Pereira. Can't quite keep the header down, but there's one wing back crossing to the other.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And Wolves again though with Johnny left hand side near the point of the penalty area. It's a great ball in from Johnny right onto the head of Raul Jimenez. The sort of chance that he would normally gobble up and he couldn't even work Schmeichel. It was a good 5 or 6 yards wide of the goal. Whipped back over deep toward the far post and headed back across goal, and Bolly's going to turn it in for 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leicester switched off at the set piece there. Nicely worked by Wolves. There is a VAR check going on. You might have heard the stadium announcer say as much.
Possible offside? Well, it might have been Johnny. I don't know, maybe Matt Doherty, but it would be tight.
Mike Dean is waiting for the decision. He makes the TV signal. And he says no goal. Yeah, no doubt that was the main talking point of what was otherwise, frankly, a pretty forgettable first half. Wolves had the ball in the net. Willy Bolly thought that he should have been celebrating a goal, and he did for a while. And then Mike Dean, on the advice of the VAR, who this evening is Michael Oliver, decided that there was a marginal offside against Diogo Jota in the build-up, and so that goal did not stand. Other than that, though, it's been a game in which there hasn't been too much to talk about in terms of the team talks going on in the respective dressing rooms now. David Connolly, I guess Brendan Rodgers will be saying, well, there you go, you've had a let-off because he allowed Wolves back into the game as the half wore on, and Nuno maybe saying, let's use that sense of injustice to fuel us for the second half.
Well, you could hear Conor Cody coming off the pitch, saying to Mike Dean, the referee, basically Mike Dean answering, I don't know why it was disallowed. He wasn't able to give the players on the pitch the answer, which I find that's incredible. I thought VAR and the referees, when this came in, the referees would be in charge. They'd be in charge on the pitch, and it would be up to them maybe to decide about VAR, whether to use VAR or do they go to the monitor. The fact that obviously they can call and decide in the studio that goal is going to be disallowed for what amounts to millimetres, not clear and obvious. No way was that clear and obvious. However, is that the rules that we're living by for VAR? I don't know. I'm confused as much as the next man. But yes, they've got out of jail there, Leicester. As dominant as they were with the ball, they didn't really go anywhere with it. Jamie Vardy's been absolutely starved of possession. He's isolated like an island up there. And when Wolves have gone forward, they've looked really dangerous. Probably had the best chances of the game, haven't they? But they just haven't taken it. Jimenez with a missed header. Obviously, they had a disallowed goal. Jota as well with his strike. So they've looked threatening on the counter, Wolves.
Jamie Vardy, as we mentioned, still the leading scorer in the Premier League this season. Leicester maybe lacking a plan B when he's not heavily involved in the game. Would there maybe a case, if it goes on like this, to bring on Iheanacho to supplement him rather than to replace him?
Yes, I mean, he has done that, hasn't he, of late, in terms of bringing on Iheanacho, but against Chelsea it was for Jamie Vardy. I'm sure Vardy wants a little bit of help up there at times. It would mean sacrificing a formation that is tried and tested. That's what Rodgers does. He likes his 4-1-4-1. He has tried different formations during the season, but invariably this is his preferred one. However, certainly Vardy needs a little bit of help, doesn't he? He's isolated, he's barely been in the game. I think Jose Perez has been very quiet. A couple of times Perez has just got to pick him out, and he can't. Hasn't had the quality so far, so if it would be anyone, it would be someone like Perez who'd be looking maybe as the one to come off if he did change it.
Right, we're going to have a look ahead now to the game on Monday night at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Manchester United, two teams who, like Wolves, are hoping to get into the Champions League next season. Frank Lampard has been speaking to the media down at Cobham today, and no surprise he was asked about the goalkeeping situation. Kepa left out against Leicester a couple of weeks ago, and the Chelsea boss non-committal as to whether he would be starting against United on Monday.
If it did, then I'd have to pick the whole team on how much they cost, and it can't be that way. I think all the players know that. I think it doesn't matter how you came to the club, what age you are, what part of your career you're at. I have to have that competition within the squad, so I don't take it. I'm not stupid, I know that it's there, but I don't take into account. I'm sure the players wouldn't expect me to. It's all about how you train every day and how you play on match day.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has also been speaking to the press, specifically about United's January edition, Odion Ighalo, and how quickly he's going to fit into the United team.
Been working really hard. I think he's probably pinching himself at times because he's now at his favourite club. He's at the age of 30, but he's earned that one, and hopefully he'll impress us as much as so we can see him play.
Well, it's a key game in the race for, I was going to say the top four, but if you're late joining us or you haven't heard the big news breaking in the last couple of hours, Manchester City have been banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons by UEFA
for breaches of FFP regulations, so something which has a big effect on the game on Monday and the game we're seeing tonight. Wolves thought they were ahead, but their goal ruled out. Second half coming next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport. Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com. Hey kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock on TalkSport. The cornerstone of any nutritious sports breakfast.
A morning delivery of big names and essential game talk, discreetly wrapped and violently lobbed over the fence onto your radio. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
100% pure Scotch beef.
Monday morning from 6
on TalkSport.
Saturday is game day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. One day, so much football.
I'm Sean Longstaff, Newcastle United midfielder.
Hello everyone, this is Juan Mata.
Hello, Harry Redknapp here.
Every Saturday, TalkSport are wall-to-wall Premier League. It's the only place to get free live games on radio.
Game day.
He has done it!
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day Podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double-O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Wolverhampton Wanderers against Leicester City from Molineux. I'm your host, Matt Davis Adams. Alongside me, the former West Ham, Watford and Leicester striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. We're just waiting for the emergence of the two teams for the second half. It'll be fascinating as well, David. Usually say to be a fly on the wall in either dressing room, actually to be a fly on the wall in the referee's dressing room and how they're communicating with Stockley Park and Michael Oliver there. I mean, as we alluded to, you heard Conor Cody discussing with Mike Dean on the way out and him saying the ref doesn't know. I mean, surely they have to explain to the on-field referee why it's been. I don't believe that Mike Dean doesn't know why that goal was this.
Yes, that would be really surprising. I mean, they've been in the news, haven't they, this week? Certainly the referees, John Moss. We had John Moss in terms of, maybe did he make certain remarks to Bournemouth Dan Gosling. We've had two referees fail the Premier League fitness tests, although they say they were ill and they are going to retake it. So the referees have been in the news this week, and I guess the VAR and the referees will be back in the news again here.
Just on that, did you ever get any talk back from a referee?
Yes.
During the game? Did you mind it?
I did a show on TalkSport today, and it was in a big game. The winner was going to go to the Premier League, basically, and I had a referee, who I thought was very rude. And look, in those days, you just got on with it. You just thought, wow, what an idiot, So it does go on. It's a shame because you want to have a relationship with them, and you want to be able to obviously have dialogue with referees, but some are are more amenable, more approachable than others. And I'm not saying Mike Dean isn't, but look, he gets a hug there from Ruben Neves, but I'm sure Mike Dean's saying, well look, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything. And I think that's what VAR is sometimes, a bit of a crutch for these referees. It's a shame, but anyway, it's certainly got to be ironed out. What they do with VAR, I don't know, but it needs to be reworked in some way.
And that was a little weird. Ruben Neves got booked for dissent in the first half. He's beginning the second by hugging the referee. All is forgiven, I guess. Anyway, we're back underway. Wolves kicking from left to right, getting the second half started with Rui Patricio in goal. Back three, Willy Bolly, Connor Cody and Roman Says. Matt Doherty and Johnny are the two wing backs. In midfield, Leander Dendoncker and Ruben Neves on that yellow card, with Pedro Neto and Diogo Jota flanking Raul Jimenez. Leicester, Kasper Schmeichel is the goalkeeper. Back four, Ricardo Pereira, Johnny Evans, Shangla Suunchu and Ben Chilwell. Hamza Chowdhury sitting in front of them. In front of him, Jose Perez, Yuri Tielemans, James Maddison also booked, and Harvey Barnes with Jamie Vardy in attack. Wolves sort of need the win more than Leicester here, don't they? Leicester pretty nicely tucked in third place. Wolves looking to cut the gap.
I guess the challenge for Leicester will be, can they finish second? That'll be a real achievement for them, because there's no way they're not going to drop out of the top four. That's for sure. The gap between Chelsea and Sheffield is massive, and Leicester, and Sheffield is massive. They're not going to make that up. But if they could finish second, wow, that'll be a phenomenal achievement. Up against the greatest side maybe the Premier League's ever seen?
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers, a former Liverpool manager, of course, I'm sure will enjoy getting in between they and Manchester City. We say that they are nailed on for Champions League, and I need to stop saying top four, because if the ruling handed out this afternoon to ban City from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons, it's not going to be the top four, it's going to be 4 of the top 5. Chilwell going on a run here but deflected. We're saying Leicester are in that. They could be kingmakers though as to who joins them. Last 3, Sheffield United at home, Spurs away and Manchester United at home. So one way or another they're going to have a say. And Wolves have still got to go to Spurs, Sheffield United and on the last day of the season Chelsea. So they're still right in it too.
Oh yeah, this is going to go down to the wire, but they've already got the same amount of points, I think, if they won here, as they got in the whole of last season, Leicester. They got 52 last season, they're on 49 now. I mean, that's incredible. What a run. And that's, obviously, despite their form tailing off and maybe a couple of indifferent results. So, they've had an excellent season. They don't want it to go to waste now. They've been up there for so long. If they could stay, finish second, catch up Man City again, then that would be a wonderful achievement.
And not much has happened in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. Ball is currently out of play. Maybe a Wolves throw in front of Brendan Rodgers. Matt Doherty, who I'm sure has had some treatment during half time, wanted to I just said that on that head injury and it started bleeding again. I mean, surely should have just had a bandage put on it, shouldn't it?
Well, maybe this is what I don't understand, because they've had the whole half time. Yes, why has he had a bandage? Because normally compression would be the first sign of stopping things that are bleeding. But they haven't done that. Maybe it doesn't require a stitch. I don't know. Who knows what the reason? But they've come straight out and it's bleeding again. He's off the pitch. They're down to 10 men again, Wolves.
And they're defending at the moment because Tielemans has the ball. He's going to cross in from the left wing. Good ball in toward Vardy. Couldn't get anything on it. Broke for Jose Perez. His shot from close range, blocked at close range by Saiz, and eventually Patricio able to sit on the ball.
I think that was a better chance, and actually Perez gave it there. I mean, the ball popped up in the air. I think he could have faked to shoot and actually taken it to the side, because the 2 Wolves defenders went for the ball. Bit of a missed opportunity there to show a little bit of bright inventiveness.
Doherty's still off the pitch for the moment, so Wolves are down to 10 men. You listen to TalkSport Live. Here is Chowdhury finding Tielemans. Back with Chowdhury once more. Leicester trying to reset the pattern from the start of the first half here by having all the ball.
Absolutely. I just wonder whether Doherty's back on. We can't quite see yet, but obviously we're screaming to come back on. The referee, Mike Dean, wouldn't allow him.
Chilwell
and he's not.
Tielemans.
He's still not back on the pitch.
So Leicester have got to try and ram home this extra man advantage that they've got at the moment. They've got the ball. Evans finding Chowdhury, but he's only just over the halfway line here, Hamza Chowdhury. Plays it short into Perez. Perez then moves it out wide right for Pereira. Pereira up against Johnny. Lovely footwork to take him past him into the penalty area. He goes, Pereira, and on he goes. What a goal this would be. Oh, he flashed it just wide. Decided to go for goal himself, having created the opportunity rather than cutting it back, and he was almost celebrating his 4th goal of the season.
Oh, fantastic feat from Ricardo Pereira, just to skip past Johnny. Then he drives into the box. Then he takes on Dendoncker down the line. He tries to reverse it back across goal. He can't quite twist his hips. Instead flashes it past the near post. That's a really disappointing end to a fantastic move started by Pereira. We have seen him score goals, haven't we? I'm trying to recall where he scored, Pereira. At that time just lacked the composure when he did break into the box.
Barnes heads it on. Might come for Tielemans instead. Jimenez has got it. Jimenez looking to work it short. Picked up by Tielemans again though. Goes back to Chilwell. Now Soyuncu. Short pass from him to Evans. Evans then up toward Perez, but he's lost it, and Jimenez has got it edge of the box. He's going to try and get a shot away. Chowdhury puts the tackle in, and the referee gives a free kick and books Chowdhury, and it's a free kick in a great position here.
Well, he's done really well to buy this free kick, Raul Jimenez. They win the ball back off Perez, and he drives in around the edge of the box, fakes to shoot, just invites the challenge from Chowdhury. Does he get a little piece of the ball? Oh, it's a tough one. I mean, he's gone to ground, sliding with his right leg. Not so sure he has. Maybe a tiny bit. It's a tough one. Might be the right call there. Free kick on the edge of the box. We're trying to think. It was Pereira scored. He scored against West Ham. That was the game. He scored a great goal as well.
Here Wolves looking to open the scoring, having thought they'd done so at the end of the first half, only for VAR to get involved. Looks like Roman Saiz is the favourite for this. Doherty, by the way, is back on and does have a bandage on now, and I think Nuno might give some of his medical team a bit of a telling off for not just getting that sorted at half time. Schmeichel organising his wall here as he prepares to defend this free kick. It is going to be Saiz. Neves nowhere in sight. Slightly unusual. The centre-back's going to take this. Here he comes. Short run up. Saiz hits it straight into the wall like Neves did in the first half, and actually straight into Chowdhury's backside like Neves did in the first half. Cross comes in. Second time round, easily gathered by Schmeichel.
Yeah, really disappointing. I mean, they've telegraphed what they're doing. There's only one on the ball, so the Wall know that Saiz is going to take the shot. Slow run up. Wasn't very convincing, was it? I know Ronaldo sometimes has that little stutter step, but when he does approach the board, he goes with a bit of pace, but Saiz didn't.
He might not be taking the next one. Here's Barnes at the other end, left-hand side. Good defending from Bolly to take the ball from him. Trying to keep it in play now, Bolly. And eventually he has to turn it out for a throw-in near the corner flag as Leicester attack down the left. Chilwell is the player who's going to toss this in. Looking for somebody to make a move for him. Maddison being closely marshalled at the moment. Maddison did get a touch, but just knocked it straight out of play for a Wolves throw.
Well, he's adamant the Wolves defender knocked this out of play, not him. He's been very quiet, hasn't he, Maddison? Not really been in the game. I know he had to come out and defend him recently, didn't he, when obviously James Maddison went to a casino and had a night out in Dubai when maybe he should have been focusing on his football, but on his day he's a real talent. They've got to try and keep hold of someone like him. Linked with Man United again, isn't he? I'm sure they're going to sign the number 10, whether it's him or Jack Grealish, one of them.
He had a great first half of the season, Maddison's gone a bit quiet since then. Here he is on the ball though, halfway inside Wolves half of the pitch. Gives it to Ricardo Pereira. Pereira with Maddison square, returns it to the number 10, back with Chowdhury now. And 9 minutes of the second half, it's still goalless. Here's Chilwell crossing in from deep into a good area, but nobody there in blue to deal with it, and Saiz just chests it back to Rui Patricia.
Yeah, nice calm play there from Saiz. Ball into the box, overhit from Chilwell. I think he's saying to his fullback, you know, you've got to get across, get in, get on the back stick, but Pereira wasn't maybe caught on his heels. It might have been Perez actually. I think they need to make a change, Leicester. I don't think Perez has really been in the game.
The Wolves down the other side with Johnny on the attack, goes back to halfway, and Neves. Reminder of those Leicester subs, the outfield players: Justin, Morgan, Pratt, Gray, Albrighton and Iheanacho. So you're looking at Gray or Iheanacho, I would guess, if you're thinking of taking Perez off.
Yeah.
Maybe Albrighton too would come into the thinking there.
Well, Graham, when he scored against West Ham, he could be a real match winner on his day.
Love to do so as a former Birmingham player here too as well. It's broken here for Harvey Barnes. Barnes having his shirt tugged. Surely it's going to be a free kick against Dendoncker. It is. It's going to be a yellow card for the Belgian midfielder for Wolves as well. Not particularly subtle, that. Wrapped his arms around Barnes. Barnes reacted a little bit afterwards.
Bit of frustration there from Harvey Barnes, who's having a terrific season. I just wonder, would he have a chance of getting a call for England? Maybe. Still only young. He's having a standout season, as you mentioned, was on loan at West Brom, has come back and really proven himself in the Premier League.
On the ball at the moment with another former West Brom man, Evans, forward from him to Chowdhury. Again, Leicester having all of the ball, but there's just no cutting edge to go with it. They've made more than double the passes that Wolves have in this game. Here's Chilwell, left hand side. Barnes plays it down the line looking for him again. Bolly can just touch it out for a throw. See Kelechi Iheanacho down there near where the ball is now, actually warming up.
Well, it's been quite interesting, hasn't it? When Bolly's been forced into the corner, he takes no chances. I know some defenders might try and shield it and work a way out of trouble. He just passes it straight off the pitch and gets back in his shape.
I think maybe that's because he's tried it once and it has ended badly, and the manager said, you know what, Willie, whenever you get it, just knock it out for a throw and we'll deal with it after that. And here's Pereira. He plays it back to Evans on halfway. 0-0 here. 56.5 minutes played at Molineux. It's a great game on paper, this. It hasn't been on the pitch so far. There is still plenty of time for plenty of drama. Leicester's only win in their last 8 league visits to this ground came back in December of 2006 in what was a championship game then. Just getting a shot on our monitor of Adama Traore sitting watching on. He's not warming up, but wonder how fit he is if he can come on and play for 20 minutes or so. We'll find out. Sent toward Bolly. Vardy grappling with him. And Vardy couldn't get on the end of that, and still he is a peripheral figure in this game. Here's Maddison. Clever pass from him to Tielemans. Tielemans going to go for goal from 25 yards out. Bounced up in front of Patricio. Easy save for him.
Well, he's received it in a lovely little area here, about 20 yards outside the box. Super ball into him from Maddison. He takes a shot on. It's from distance, so a good 25-30 yards out. It's got to be something really special. Instead, it bounces straight in front of the goalkeeper. A simple save.
Yeah, 5 goals he's got this season. Tielemans never looked like making it 6 there. Here's Barnes just over halfway, middle of the pitch. Can have a run here at the Wolves' defence. Quickly up to the edge of the box, looking for a give and go with Vardy, who didn't get the return pass right. Straight through to Rui Patricio.
Oh, what a shame. So it was a lovely little run from Barnes. He is so quick. There won't be many that will catch him. Tries to play a little wall pass, ball into Vardy, tries to get the 1-2 back. It's an awful return ball though from Jamie Vardy.
Traore has been sent out to warm up now. You can almost see his muscles through his jumper. That's how stacked he is.
And he's trying to put a bib on, but there's no point in a bib attempting to get over his... Oh, he has, he's got it. It's not quite down at the back though.
He's a beast of a player. And for a long time, he was a beast of a player without much end product, but it really seems to have clicked into place for him this season. Here, Wolves with Doherty, bandage and all, coming forward. Jimenez takes over. Jimenez looking for Diogo Jota. Played it at his heels and he couldn't bring it under control. And now Perez will look to come clear for Leicester, but he's stopped in his tracks by Dendoncker. Surprising lack of quality. I mean, is this having not played for a couple of weeks? Would that affect your rhythm to that degree?
Possibly. I mean, you know, that break in play, sometimes you've got to reboot, restart, and they haven't quite got going yet, have they? Neither side. Whether they've still got their minds on a beach somewhere or topping up their tan.
As Chilwell plays it infield to Maddison. Back with Soyuncu now. And then Evans will work it back to his centre-half partner. Maddison's dummy. Chilwell plays it forward. Here's Barnes. Barnes down the line for Vardy. Vardy looking to work it into the penalty area. Barnes on the chase, but he can't get on the end of it. And Wolves will bring it clear. Doherty, though, loses possession to Madison. Madison left-hand side heading for the box. He's inside the penalty area here. Good footwork, goes down under something approaching contact and is quickly told to get back to his feet again. He bounced off big and burly Roman Saiz.
No, it's a decent run from Madison. Drives into the box, gets away from Neto. Then he comes face to face with Saiz. He goes down the line. I think Saiz reads it, but he just puts his body there, stands up, runs into Madison, and I don't think that's a free kick. But they've had a little alter, so they put Saiz back in the defensive line from midfield and put Dendoncker now into midfield. So they've got a different, same players, but just slightly moved around somewhat.
Yeah, I did have a quick look at that, of course, and decided there was no case to answer. Plays back underway, and we have reached the hour mark at Molineux. It is 3rd against 9th at the start of play. Leicester 3rd, Wolves 9th. And then there's another stoppage because Diogo Jota is fouled. You said it would likely be from a set piece if we got a goal, David. We almost got one in the first half. Adama Traore is going to come on. I wonder if it might actually be a mistake from somebody that gives us a goal, because it doesn't look like it's going to be a moment of quality at the moment.
No, I guess if Schmeichel makes another error trying to play out, or you look at maybe the chances that Wolves have had for a couple of free headers. Same with Leicester, have had a couple of free headers, haven't they? Soyuncu, Johnny Evans unmarked.
Here's Doherty touching it on for Jimenez, just outside the penalty area now, into the box but near the dead ball line, and with Chilwell at his back. Stands up a brilliant cross though, and well defended by Tielemans, who got a little nudge in the back as well for his trouble, so free kick is given.
Well, he does really well here out wide, Jimenez. Terrific little skill. Him and Doherty work the angle well. He fakes it, delivers the ball, chops back inside, then works it again, gets to the byline, dinks it up. There's the back post. I think it's Saiz with the header. Might have just cleared the top of Ricardo Pereira's head. No, Tielemans' head, sorry, it's Dendoncker. Maybe leading with his elbow, and he's got the decision from the referee.
It's Soyuncu on the ball, working it left side for Ben Chilwell. Soyuncu again. Tielemans now, going to knock it to the right. And Ricardo Pereira, he can come in field, but he wants it played early. Again, it doesn't happen though. It's worked out to Jose Perez, put in from Johnny to win it back for Leicester. Now Ruben Neves lumping it long out to the left wing, and Wolves are over halfway here. Ball played toward Jimenez, but Johnny Evans able to intercept it. Frustration from the home supporters, who thought that their team were going to go into the break with a lead, only for VAR to disallow the goal that Bolly thought that he'd scored, that he was celebrating. Here's Ricardo Pereira coming forward again looking for by the edge of the box, again doesn't find him. Rui Patricio though does well to prevent a corner, and the ball goes out of play for a throw in over on the far side, the right. Can't be too long before somebody makes a change. Traore favourite to come on first, but as you say, David, Leicester will be thinking about how they can affect the game in terms of alterations too. Cross comes in deep toward Barnes. Rui Patricio's handling is good, he's able to grab it. Traore is going to be the first substitute. He is stripped and ready to come on the next time the ball goes dead.
Well, you can just see the strapping just under his shirt. He's got a short sleeve shirt on, and under it it's just peeping out the, well, support I guess you call it, for his shoulder that was dislocated. Obviously still not completely healed, and you probably doubt it is. He's back that quickly, so he's got an extra little bit of support there that we can see.
And he comes then, the 24-year-old beast of a player. Adama Traore is going to take the place of Pedro Neto for the final half hour or so here. And that has lifted the crowd.
Well, he didn't have the greatest of games, did he? Neto had that opportunity in the first half where he stole possession from Schmeichel playing out, and then didn't quite have the composure to settle down before taking on the strike. Maybe Troy would have a little bit more luck. We'll have to see. Different sort of player, isn't he? He's going to run in behind, more powerful, more physical than Neto.
Here Wolves are on the attack with Johnny. He's going to go backwards, all the way back into his own half of the field, in fact, where it's switched back to Rui Patricio, who flicks it up and volleys it away up to halfway. Doherty there to win it. His header though only for Chowdhury. Really amazing lack of quality in this game, given where these two are in the league. So many passes have gone astray so far.
Well, that time Hamza Chowdhury just dawdling on the ball, didn't know where Raul Jimenez was, came on his blind shoulder, had the ball stolen off him, but it did come off Jimenez's arm, so they've won possession back, Leicester.
Ricardo Pereira has it over on the far side, the right. Vardy up on the edge of the box, down the line for JB Vardy. Back to Perez it goes. Perez trying to get away from Johnny. That's really good defending from Johnny. Perez has been so ineffective, as you mentioned, David, on that right hand side for Leicester.
He could have come off, couldn't he, at half time easily.
Fox is still in possession though, and here's Ricardo Pereira, edge of the penalty area, crossing into Harvey Barnes, whose shot is blocked before he could reach Patricio's goal. And Chowdhury will pick up the loose ball. Leicester trying to get a bit of momentum, but Traore's now got it at his feet for the first time, and he charges forward. He's eating up the yards. He plays it into the channel looking for Jimenez. Not a good ball though. Chilwell able to get there first, and he can clear it away.
Well, Traore, terrific run, but I think he feels everyone's as quick as him, so he lays the ball in front of Jimenez as if he's going to get on the end of it, i.e. Traore, but not everyone's blessed with his pace. Jimenez couldn't quite catch the ball up, but it's gone out for a throw. But again, they won the ball back there. Balls from Perez, just taking too long on the ball, too slow, too laboured. They need to make a change, Leicester.
It's Conor Cody on the ball, touching it short to Saiss on halfway. Moroccan threads it out to the left wing, and Johnny. Diogo Jota wanting a short pass. Johnny instead. Diogo Jota got a hat-trick when these two met last season. We've hardly said his name either. Nobody sparkling in an attacking sense so far in this match. Hence why it is Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Leicester City 0, and we're nearly at the 3/4 mark of it. Ball played out right side to Traore. Does well to control it up against Barnes here. Chilwell back there as well. Traore's managed to beat them both and get a crossing cleared up into the air by Soyuncu, and then Maddison mishits a volley that goes straight out of play for a throw-in on halfway.
Well, already he's had a decent impact, hasn't he, Traore? He's driven up that Leicester back line. He's got to the byline there. Maybe the cross wasn't the best, but at least he's certainly had a positive impact on this game.
Mark Albrighton is going to be the first Leicester substitute introduced. He's just getting his final instructions from Mike Stowell and a Brendan Rodgers coaching team here.
Well, it's got to be Perez, like for like change, you'd imagine. Probably either him or Barnes, but I'd certainly be taking Perez off.
Albrighton will probably get a bit of stick as well, as a former Villa player. Won't be too popular around these parts. Ball goes all the way back to Rui Patricio, puts his foot through it and clears up toward Doherty. Goes out of play, and now there will be the chance to make the change. Let's see if it is the number 17 that goes on the fourth official's board. Indeed it is. To the surprise of very few in the stadium, Jose Perez is being withdrawn. Albrighton will come up.
I think the only surprise is he's lasted this long.
Well, he is off, and Albrighton, who I'm sure, when he reflects on his career, will think, goodness me, because in 2014 he was released by Aston Villa and you wondered where he'd go next. Villa went down to the Championship. Albrighton played every game in 2016 when Leicester won the league, and he scored their first ever goal in the Champions League a season later, so I guess you could say he had the last laugh in that.
Absolutely, he's done terrific there. Excellent. Him and Fuchs, what a combination they were down that left hand side.
He's on for 20 and a bit minutes here. His volley plays one forward up towards a combination of Johnny and Jota. It's funny, he came into this game with two of the best strikers in the Premier League this season, the number 9s, Jimenez and Vardy, and how many times have they actually got anywhere near goal, either of them? But sort of players they are, as you alluded to, David, they only need one decent chance to drop their way. There's Traore trying to cut inside around Maddison, who got a touch, but it broke for Dendoncker. Then Neves plays it forward into the feet of Diogo Jota, offloads it quickly to Johnny. Johnny crosses into the penalty area, comes back Jota's way, trying to get away from Ricardo Pereira. Evans goes to the ground, makes a good tackle to win it back. Johnny's picked it up once more and cleared up toward halfway where Vardy flicks it on for Tielemans, who can't bring it under control, and Saiss moves it forward. And it's broken kindly here for Johnny. Jimenez in the middle waiting for a cross now. It's come deep toward Doherty instead, nodded back to Jimenez, edge of the box. Soyuncu in his way, and Soyuncu puts his foot in and knocks it behind for a corner.
Well, they just keep it alive here. Wolves just not allowing Leicester to clear their lines. They don't go big enough, Leicester, and lovely little play from Jota just to flick it out wide. Johnny with a deep delivery to the far post. Doherty tries to head it back for Jimenez. He almost takes it off the toe of Traore though. Tries to work an angle. You can tell he wants to strike it goal, doesn't he, Jimenez? Like Vardy, starved of service.
0 is the corner count, 0-0 in the one stat that really matters. Ruben Neves is going to take this from the near side to us, the right. Neves didn't beat the first man, flicked away by Chilwell, cleared out only as far as Johnny though, whose shot deflects off Chowdhury, and he's loose in the penalty area, but Chilwell's able to get there again, trying to get it clear. Good block by Neves, goes out to play for a Leicester throw in their left back position.
Yeah, they're working hard, aren't they, Wolves, without the ball, just trying to deny Leicester the opportunity to get out, penning them in. This time they're within their own 18-yard box, out wide with a throw. They can't get out at this moment.
Chilwell taking his time before he hurls it down the line. Mike Dean's not happy with that. He didn't blow his whistle. Always, once again, Mike Dean's got to let everybody know that he's the referee of the match and he is in charge of it. Chilwell gives a sarcastic thumbs up in his direction.
Well, he's been clear there in terms of, I didn't blow the whistle. Well, he didn't know why the goal was disallowed at half-time, did he? So this is the problem.
Here is Saiss moving the ball out left side to Johnny. Are we going to get a goal here in the final 20 minutes at Molineux? 0-0, and pretty forgettable stuff other than a big VAR call at half-time. Jimenez challenging. Header inside the penalty area that he won against Chilwell. Knocks it back out right side for Adama Traore. Up against Chilwell, trying to buy a yard of space to get across, and he's done that deep to the far post. Too deep for Doherty, and then Albrighton knocks it back to Pereira, and between them they try and get Leicester out of trouble and do it very nicely as well, up toward halfway. Vardy almost got a flick onto it. Nobody there to take advantage of it though. And Neves has got it in central midfield. Pushed out left side from him. There goes Jota, can get involved. Neves then works it out to Traore again. Nice take from Traore that time, up against Chilwell here. Can he get his cross in again? Couple of step overs, then he comes back in, didn't want to play it with his left foot, tried to hit it with the outside of his right, straight at Chilwell. Here once more is Traore, again looking for room to cross, comes off Chilwell. Looks like it might have struck his arm. Corner is the decision.
Well, there's not too much Ben Chilwell can do about that. I mean, he's out defending Traore quite close to him, a couple of yards away. The ball was cannoned off his arm. I mean, his arm is, I guess, in an unnatural position because it's wide, it's outside of his body, but it's not like he can do with that. The corner's probably just as good as a free kick in that situation.
Neves, again, the man to take it now that Neto is off the field. Puffs out his cheeks. Has a look at the players in gold in the middle, waiting to get on the end of his delivery. Outswinger goes very, very, very deep. Back across the edge of the box, and Maddison hoofs it clear into Wolves' half of the field, where Cody is the only person waiting back, and he volleys it over his shoulder. And Neves, if he meant that was a brilliant flick out to Traore. Traore again into the penalty area here, looking to cross, cut it back straight to Chowdhury, and Leicester will get it away.
Well, you can see what he's trying to do, but to me he's got to deliver that ball earlier. Raul Jimenez was completely unmarked.
Here come Leicester on the counter with Ricardo Pereira. Pereira overran it slightly, and he's hurt himself in a challenge, but play's going on around him, and now it's going to stop because of a foul on Albrighton. Mike Dean might well be dishing out some punishment by the looks of things. Pereira just overran it slightly, showed a bit too much of it to Saiss, and then the two collided. He's back up on his feet now though, the Leicester right back. We are approaching the final 15 minutes here, and Dennis Pratt is going to come on in the next change for Leicester at the next break in play. Here's Chowdhury, and back to Soyuncu. Now Evans, being played at walking pace as he creeps over the halfway line, then stops, works it into the right channel for Pereira. Back in field from him to Mark Albrighton. Here's Maddison. Maddison Working it to Pereira, touched off first time, looking for Albright in the game, but Saiss in the way. Pereira then makes a block on Saiss's clearance, and then Saiss turns it out to play for a throw.
Yeah, good defending from Saiss. I mean, Pereira's not happy. He's going over to the assistant referee. I'm not too sure what he's complaining about. Maybe he feels it was a strong challenge by Saiss.
Here comes that Leicester change. It's one Belgian midfielder off and another on. Yuri Tielemans withdrawn, and Dennis Pratt signed for £18 million from Sampdoria in the summer. But he's been a sub more than a starter since his move. Comes on for the closing stages here.
Well, I thought Tielemans had a terrific opening phase to the game. Was carrying the ball forward and drawing fouls. Look, really on it, but I guess his involvement in the game just faded somewhat the longer it went on.
Brighton's touch for Maddison. Here's Pratt's first involvement. Works it back to Evans. Then Soyuncu gets involved. Then back to Soyuncu by Barnes. Soyuncu coming left side for Chilwell. Here's Soyuncu again. Now Evans. Who's happy to let Leicester have the ball, particularly in situations like at the moment when it is in their own half of the field. Traore gets a block on Chilwell's clearance, but it runs for Chowdhury. Chowdhury slipped though, and then he gives away a free kick, and Dendoncker. Oh, well, there's a red card being shown here. Second booking for Hamza Chowdhury, and he is off. And Wolves are going to finish this game with only 10 players. Brendan Rodgers looks nonplussed. Chowdhury can't believe either the decision or his own foolishness. Ball had just gotten away from him as he stumbled in midfield, and he followed through and just clipped Dendoncker right in front of Mike Dean, who decided that that was deliberate from Chowdhury rather than just his natural movement. What was your view on it, David?
Yeah, I think it was deliberate. I mean, he just allows the ball just to run away from him. Chowdhury right in the middle of the park, can't quite get it under control. He's pressed from two Wolves players. In the end, his trailing leg just brings down, was it Dendoncker?
Yeah.
And then he's got the second yellow card. That's him off, and they've got 15 or so minutes here to see this out, Leicester.
Let's see if they can see out the subsequent free kick, which is one of those. Cody's from halfway out to the left side looking for Bolly, who couldn't get off the ground. He felt he was being fouled, and Ricardo Pereira will be able to get this clear. You're listening to TalkSport Live as Jimenez touches it off, and then before Diogo Jota could get it away or could get a shot off, it's cleared away. As far as Doherty now, Adama Traore trying to work some space again, inside right, goes out to the flank. Good play from him, back in his own pace to get on the end of his own pass. Cross blocked off Maddison, goes behind, came off Traore last apparently, behind for a goal kick. You're listening to TalkSport Live. Wolves making a change here, their second of the game. Diogo Jota, no hat-trick for him today, like in this fixture last season. And Daniel Podence, who came in from Olympiacos in January for £16.5 million, is on. Disappointing display from Jota, actually. He's better than he showed tonight.
Well, again, he's another player, I think, who started well in the first half and just faded in the second. What they have in their favour, Wolves, is they're the highest scorers in the second half of games. They've got something like nearly 70% of their goals in the second half, so they do come on strong. Now they've got that extra man. I'm expecting a real response here from Wolves.
Yeah, we mentioned the amount of draws they've had, 11 in the Premier League this season. I know it's only 15 minutes to go at it, but given the goal that was ruled out as well in the first half, they will be really frustrated if they don't take maximum points from this match.
Yeah, it's just whether it's long enough now with the extra man to really make a discernible difference. But
they come on the attack again, but Evans is going to get to that before Johnny and work it all the way back to Schmeichel, who clears it first time. Up to halfway, Neves won the header, then Donker and Barnes then challenge. And there's been an accusation against Chowdhury, hasn't it, that he is a bit too reckless in the tackle. Got sent off for England under 21s, I remember, in the summer for a really bad challenge. I think there wasn't quite that kind of case. 2 bookings, but it could be costly for his team in this game.
Well, he just got bundled over there, but he's got to release the pass to Matt Doherty, who made an overlapping run, terrific run. He took too long on the ball and opportunity was lost. Doherty saying, just give me the ball, put me in.
Soyuncu forward for Madison, back with Soyuncu again. Are we going to get a goal here? 0-0 with a shade over 10 minutes plus stoppages to play. Evans has got it. Forward from him to Pratt. Pratt holds on to it for now, then goes back to Evans. Leicester in no great mood to throw bodies forward now, understandably so, a man like. Madison's got it. Jamie Vardy didn't get many touches when it was 11v11. He's going to have even fewer now. Here's Chilwell. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he did, left hand side. Plays it to Vardy. Vardy manages to make it stick. Offloads it to Barnes. Here's Madison. Traoré. Inside his own half. Got to be careful not to lose it. Did well. Doherty goes back to Cody inside the penalty area.
Well, it's a sign, I think, of Traoré's growing confidence as a player. He's taking the ball in all sorts of areas and willing to stay on it, manipulate it, find a way out before eventually offloading to a teammate.
Here's Cody. Out to Doherty. Doherty on halfway. Gives it to Traoré. Back in field from Traoré to Bolly. Goes across to Neves. Crosses the halfway line. Ruben Neves. Was part of the Sporting team many years ago, part of the Porto team I should say, that played against Leicester in the Champions League group stage. Here's Traoré inside the penalty area, clipping a cross up to the penalty spot, and the header for Jimenez goes over. That's his big chance of the game. He was all alone there, Raul Jimenez, and he couldn't work the goalkeeper from a good position.
Again, terrific play out wide from Traoré. You think, go on then, put the ball in now, because there's not too many Leicester players back. By the time he actually delivers it, there's about 8 Leicester players back, but he picks out Jimenez with a terrific little cutback cross on his head, in and around the penalty spot. But again, he just can't keep it down. A really poor directional header. And there's Nuno giving the signal that he's going to change something.
Yeah, João Moutinho has come on for Ruben Neves in the final Wolves change. Neves was on a yellow card. João Moutinho, vastly experienced player. He was part of the Sporting side in 2008 that won the Portuguese Cup against Porto, for whom Nuno, his manager, was in goal. He's got 121 caps for his country, has Moutinho.
Well, there's great European experience in this Wolves side, there really is.
Free kick here for a foul on Traoré by Soyuncu, and Traoré didn't appreciate the attentions of the big Turk at his back.
Well, I think Soyuncu realises he's got to get tight to Traoré. It's hard enough getting around him. He's a man mountain.
Moutinho's first involvement is going to be to take this free kick. Can he pick out a gold shirt here? Jimenez on the edge of the penalty area. Johnny's forward for it too. And it comes from Moutinho onto the head of Jimenez again and again. Couldn't work the goalkeeper.
Well, it's a long range header. It's another one. It's an outswinging delivery from wide. Jimenez attacks it. He's heading it almost on the penalty spot. So difficult to get that on target from there.
On our monitor, meanwhile, we're seeing the goal that wasn't. Sort of bored of talking about it, to be honest. Let's just say it was a borderline offside. And Nuno Espirito Santo was frustrated that the goal was ruled out. But really, since then, I mean, you think about clear-cut chances in the game, David. That one for Jimenez header a few moments ago. Struggling to think of many others. But here comes Traoré, right side. Soyuncu there with him again. It's Chilwell who knocks it out for a throw. Everything's come down this right-hand side since his introduction.
Yeah, Ben Chilwell's finding him really tough to handle. I think he needs a bit of help from Harvey Barnes. Offer some protection, maybe double up on Traoré.
Doherty's throw. Here is the new man in the club and off the bench, Podence. Couldn't link up with a teammate there, goes all the way back into Wolves' half. Picked up by Cody. 6.5 minutes plus stoppages left. Game that promised so much, we thought was going to be a cracker. It really hasn't got going. Here's Cody. Touches it out left side for Saiss. That said though, Wolves won't care if they can get a late goal and win it here, and they're on the attack.
Johnny dispossessed though. Here comes Albrighton at the other end. Albrighton feeding it down the line, looking for Vardy. Vardy's drawn Cody out. Doesn't have much help here. Gives it to Albrighton. Vardy not quick to make his way into the middle, and the cross from Albrighton straight through to Rui Patricio. It wasn't like there were many blue shirts in there, down to 10 men of course.
No, that was good handling from Patricio. Not a simple cross to handle. An outswinger from deep, just bounced right in front of him, going away from goal. Came out and claimed it superbly well, Patricio.
Traore at the other end. Again, not many players for him to aim at in the middle, so he goes backwards. It's come for Doherty. On from him to Moutinho. He's going to hit one from range here, João Moutinho, and it flies wide, and I think Schmeichel probably would have saved that anyway had it been on target.
Well, he wound it up here, fake to shoot, just ducked inside Dennis Pratt, took another touch to set himself, just glanced up at the goal. He's gone for power, laced it low, but he's dragged it a good 3 yards wide.
And he scored once this season. Look like making it 2 there. So will Leicester see this as a good point then if it finishes 0-0, given they've had 10 men, or will Brendan Rodgers be frank enough to say we were a long way below our best?
Oh, I think they were below their best. I think he'll be honest enough to say that, to admit that. If they can get a point here, I think he'll take that gladly, and on they go. They've still got that gap, which is a huge gap between Chelsea, but obviously if they do win at the weekend on Monday, well, not the weekend, Monday isn't the weekend, is it? After the weekend, then that gap is narrow, it does close to only 6 points.
Tell you what, in terms of Premier League, we'll call Monday the weekend. It runs from Friday.
Yeah, long weekend.
31,682 inside Molineux watching on tonight. The vast majority of them were celebrating toward the end of the first half, and then the pocket of away supporters cheered when VAR said no goal. Jimenez, good hold-up play from him on half-back. Managed to work it back to a teammate. Move forward then by Saiss to Traore on halfway. Traore with support. Goes back eventually to Bolly. Hold across to Connor Cody. He's going to hit one long here, the Wolves captain. Out to the right channel. Some really good pass from Cody. Out to Traore. Seen that on a couple of occasions tonight from Cody. Here's Traore attacking Chilwell again, getting his cross in, touched away by Albrighton before it could reach Podence. Now Moutinho out to Podence, left wing, up against Albrighton. Oh, he stumbled as he tried to turn and get away from him, and Leicester able to get it clear up to halfway, where Vardy is waiting. Vardy's done well to win that actually against Saiss. Goes back to Pereira inside his own half. Pereira eventually tackled, ball goes out for Leicester throw. Nuno standing on the touchline with his arms folded. He says, Wolves is my obsession, it's my life, I don't think about anything else. He's out of contract next year. Surely Wolves will look to get that tied up soon. Touch on from Vardy here. And Pratt on for Albrighton. Albrighton near the edge of the penalty area, going into the box here. Although away from goal, and Dendoncker gets a block on his attempted cross. Wolves will be able to bring it away from danger.
Well, they need to go forward with a purpose here. Much quicker, incisive. Go on, get it out to Traore and get him taken on Chilwell.
Doing exactly that now, and Chilwell brings Traore down, and it's a free kick.
Yeah, just need to get him the ball a little bit earlier. But you can see Chilwell there, had his winger helping out. Harvey Barnes was dropping back in just to offer a bit more protection for him. And they realised Traore's got the beating of Chilwell. It was actually Maddison that was getting back.
Chilwell, the latest player to go on Mike Dean's naughty list as he gets shown the yellow card. Not been a particularly feisty game, but we've had plenty of bookings and one sending off. More blood coming from Matt Doherty, who had a headband on, but it hasn't done the job, and he's going off. And
again, he's going off again. This is incredible.
I mean, Wolves' medical team must be one of the best in the league, because they only use 13 or 14 players, and they never seem to get any injuries, but we don't know. Maybe it's a really tough cut to close. Maybe Doherty didn't want stitches, but it is sort of farcical. He's getting bandaged up for the second time, having taken so long to get it right first time round. The bloodied bandage sits on the pitch that's been discarded as Moutinho's free kick comes in, headed away by Soyuncu. It's going to come out for Johnny left hand side, trying to wriggle away from Albrighton, who gets the tackle and goes out of play for a throw. We are rapidly approaching the final minute of the 90 here. We think we'll probably have at least 4 added on, 4 stoppages, so still time for somebody to win it. And at the moment, Soyuncu is down inside the penalty area for Leicester. And we'll wait and see if he's going to need some treatment too. Just having a look at what happened. It was as the ball came in from the free kick. He was challenging with Saiss, and the two clashed heads. Doesn't look anything too bad, and in fact he's not going to need any help. He is back on. And we have seconds of the 90 minutes left to play. And it looks as though it's going to finish as it started. 0-0. Throw in is being wound up. Long throw in going to come in from the left hand side for Wolves here into the penalty area. In it comes, flicked on and behind for a corner, needlessly conceded there by Mark Albrighton. Coutinho will deliver the set piece. This might be the last chance to win it.
Well, we did say a goal could come from a set piece. We had one, didn't we, in the first half that was disallowed. Again, they're setting up with the same system, Leicester, zonal markers. Soyuncu Evans on that 6-yard line. Bit of a mismatch at the back post.
Coutinho to take then. Clips it toward Bolly over his head. Raul Jimenez, free header to win it. He won't get a better chance than that. He really should have scored. He didn't hit the target. We go into 5 minutes of stoppage time with the score at 0-0 when it really should be 1-0.
Well, you're right. Completely free header. They get it all wrong, their marking system. Soyuncu comes flying out of his slot. Raul Jimenez with a free header. That's his third of the night. Simple. He doesn't even have to jump. His feet are planted on the ground. He sees it all the way. Just can't quite direct it into that bottom corner. Skips off the turf. Really poor miss.
And plenty of fantasy Premier League players, including your commentator, put their head in their hands as the points go away. Not just for Wolves, but for us too. Here's Pratt. And now Pereira taking over, right side. Is he going to be able to get across in here? Coutinho stopping him, played it down the line for Albrighton. In slid Saiss, it goes out to play. We've had one of the 5 added minutes already. I think there's time for at least one more chance, maybe 2. Leicester not in any rush to get the game restarted for obvious reasons. Madison back for Ricardo Pereira, who's bowled over. It's a foul on the free kick out wide, almost level with the edge of the penalty area. Good chance to whip one in here.
Well, it's Podence who just comes flying in here, just bundles Pereira onto the ground. He's won a few free kicks today, hasn't he, Pereira? He stops and starts, he moves the ball so quickly that you've got to be a really good defender not to give away a foul.
Trying to get Wes Morgan on here before the free kick's taken now, Leicester. Presumably to stiffen things up. He's not going to be able to come on before. Here's a threat in the box. Madison sends over the delivery. Evans gets his head to it. Breaks out for Pratt, who hits a volley which is blocked by Coutinho. Out then for Albrighton. His shot blocked by Johnny. Out wide right with Madison. Down the line for Albrighton. Across into the penalty area. It comes cleared away by Dendoncker. Out as far as Pereira. Just over halfway. Here's Albrighton. Out to play for a Leicester throw. Taken quickly to Pereira by Albrighton. Wolves able to win it back though, and now Wolves might be able to break. Evans went to ground and didn't win it against Jimenez. Podence plays it back into the path of Jimenez. He's got plenty of support and he lost it, and that is indicative of the lack of quality in this match. Bolly playing it forward. Still time for somebody to win it here. 2.5 minutes into 5 added minutes of stoppage time. Bolly up to the edge of the box. Poor control from Podence. Bolly then works it back out that way, but Podence is offside.
Yeah, just poor control here from Raul Jimenez on the counter-attack. Looked like they might be able to get away because Johnny Evans dived in and he was out of his slot, but Jimenez couldn't quite sort his feet out and the opportunity was lost.
Here comes that substitution then. Wes Morgan, he's been out ill for the last few weeks, is on, and Harvey Barnes is the player who's coming off.
Yeah, he's put a lot of effort in and endeavour as you'd expect from Harvey Barnes, but not really had much of an impact on the game. Probably gone to a back 3, I imagine now. Where's Morgan in there?
Schmeichel taking his time over this free kick. 90 seconds of the match left to play. He's gone all the way back through to Rui Patricio. He's going to bowl it out quickly for Doherty as Wolves look to launch what might be their final attack of the game. Coutinho moving it out left side. More and more chance maybe if they're quick about it. Moutinho, edge of the box, has got it back again. Worked out right side for Traore. Traore up against Chilwell. Traore going for goal and batted away by Schmeichel, and the rebound wouldn't fall for Jimenez. That's the big chance to win it right at the end maybe, but back in it comes from Moutinho. Deep cross to the far post. Saiss heads it back across goal, but Albrighton able to get it out for a throw.
Right, super strike from Traore. He's come inside this time. Invariably he's gone down the line against Chilwell, but he ducks inside, belts it at the near post, but palmed away from Schmeichel. This has got to be long, this throw. He's got to reach at least the 6-yard box, give those a chance to get on the end of it.
It's high and looping instead, headed up into the air by Dendoncker not once but twice, and away by Ferreira. And Bolly and Dendoncker left it to one another. Sent back into Traore though. Can he get a shot up again? Teed it up for Jimenez. His shot deflected, I think, by Wes Morgan. Goes behind for a corner. There's just enough time to take it.
Well, what a block this is. I mean, Moutinho just helps the ball back into the box, lands at the feet of Traore, who sets Jimenez. Look to goal, all ends up, and Soyuncu flings himself at the ball. Terrific block. Just diverts the ball over the bar. Fantastic defending there from Leicester.
Yeah, Soyuncu and Morgan close together, but it was the Turk who got the touch. Moutinho then to take it. Now or never in terms of a goal in this game. From the right-hand side, Moutinho's corner comes it over, and Soyuncu's there again to head it away. And there is the final whistle, and it finishes Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Leicester City 0. A point apiece, probably fair, David, on reflection of what was a disappointing game.
Yes, it was. I mean, they huffed and puffed both teams, but it really lacked quality after the winter break. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of chances for both sides, you know, even clear ones, which on their day you think the likes of Jimenez might take, but not today. Point apiece and they move on.
So we'll look back now at the best bits of this evening's game. Neto's picked up the loose ball, played through for a shot from Jota, which is kicked away by Schmeichel, and behind for the first corner of the game. Here come Wolves again now with Johnny, left hand side near the point of the penalty area. It's a great ball in from Johnny right onto the head of Raul Jimenez, the sort of chance that he would normally gobble up, and he couldn't even work Schmeichel. It was a good 5 or 6 yards wide of the goal. Whipped back over deep toward the far post and headed back across goal, and Bolly's going to turn it in for 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leicester switched off at the set piece there, nicely worked by Wolves. There is a VAR check going on, you might have heard the